Okay. Okay. Let's look at some footage. Looking at footage will require that I make it look good, which requires interpreting. If I take this footage, select it in projects, and then right-click it, modify it, interpret it, conform to, HD anamorphic, everything looks better because it stretches it out appropriately. Or does it? It does. Here we go. Great to see you. Great to see me. Seeing me makes me think of you. Going to watch the house build over the course of the last month. Catch you up. Catch me up. I don't think it's catching me up on anything. It's just catching you up. I can feel my face differently because I'm paying attention to you, or because you are paying attention to me. So I'm going to say goodbye. Welcome to the house. Great to see you. Fortunately, I can talk to you over images of me in the past digging dirt. Cleaning dirt. So we're building the house. This is a garage. We've taken down the drywall and the old owner's insulation is installed. The ceiling was covered in drywall, and above that was insulation, spray-in insulation. We pulled it all down, bagged it. Big day. There's some smaller stories about what we thought about doing with that insulation, but let me catch you up on where we are in these videos so you feel like, when is this? This is probably a week after we pulled down insulation. We have also rented a concrete saw. The concrete saw was awesome. It was huge. It cut these massive holes in the existing slab. And we cut those existing holes in order to set posts. We're setting posts because we need a second floor. And getting a second floor requires extra bolstering. Got to hold it up in the middle. There's going to be an L framed second floor, so part of it will be open to the first floor. And that point where the L, maybe the point that makes an L, that's what we're filling with concrete right now. That big post base that was there a second ago, it'll show up again, is going to hold an 8x8 post that will run right up to a pair of big long beams, that thing, that hold up the lines that make the interior of the L. The other hole with the wild rebar in it is for a 6x6 smaller post that runs up the interior of the L of the stairs that go up to the floor. It'll hold up the same point, but that is one of the weaker joints that need stouter wood. I've never poured concrete before, not with any intention beyond holding a post up outside. So I watched a couple good videos about this and really had been dreaming for several days about the different things you can do with concrete. It's such a fascinating substance, and the process of smoothing it in particular, shaping it towards the end, because in this state it's very jelly-like and jiggly, and then over the course of the day it hardens. And we started this early at 7, started like mixing and stuff at 7, and then I was polishing at 5:30 with a migraine, polishing the third point. Jesus, Eric. Got distracted by the setting of that second post base. This is actually raw bee footage. I've been trying to figure out how to set up the camera, and I ended up using a nail. But where were we? Yeah, we're going backwards in time. This is setting the rebar into these places. This is essentially the setting of the concrete is what you're going to see as far as finished product. We have since done quite a bit of woodwork on top of it, but in order to set the concrete, I had to learn about it. That's what I was talking about. I had to learn about it, and that learning about it led me to think about it, get fascinated with it, and then that led me to wanting to use the remaining concrete we have to do sculptures and stuff. I think it could be really cool. Forms are so interesting, and concrete is the cheap version of the guy who would love to make bronze statues materials. It's long. It takes a long time to make the layers that it would take, but Alyssa's mentioned wanting to try and do stools, and I myself, anything made out of squares, right? That's the easiest aspect, but we also talked about hexagons and stuff. You can dye concrete. I've dyed concrete with a guy named Mike in Washington, black, and then he added some little lips to that concrete, which was really cool. Just a simple little piece of triangle that you mount at the edge and then pour beyond it. That little tool I just showed a second ago, that weird thing in front of it that I'm using right now, was one of the better YouTube finds as far as like energy efficiency. We have those wires there on the ground, which you just tie around the rebar as you're attaching it to itself. You have to lift the rebar a couple inches off the ground just so the concrete forms around it. But then you need to tie each piece to each piece, and they make these very straightforward little loop-ended wires that you can use to tie. But I watched a guy have to do this at home, and he was just using makeshift versions of the same thing. And I don't know if these are newer technology or cheaper, who knows, but they work great. And what he used in order to do those ties nice and tight, and I've hated tying wire for a long time because it's very hard on your fingers if you have to do a lot of it and it's thick gauge. But he used a tent stake, and he sharpened it and put it in a drill, and that allows the tent stake to it allows you to slip out of the tie, but then you can use your drill, and it makes these beautiful little helixes out of your wire. And then you have to be a little careful about how hard you drill because it snaps off the loops at the end of the wire, but a little bit of sensitivity in the fingers, and you can it's not so much that I don't know that it speeds anything up, but a lot of what I've been working on over the course of this project is how do I get to the end of a day and not feel like I don't want to go into the next day. This is me trying to figure out how to bend rebar without a rebar bending machine, and it was hard and made me angry for a day and a half when I thought I was making no progress. But be that as it may, these things happen. And had to ask Tim, Misty's dad, how he did it, and that was his suggestion, was a truck hitch, which worked great for one bend, but not for two. No. Two in different directions is no bueno, no fun. You start to unbend the rebar in the wrong way. Yeah. Second floor, 2 floors. We're going to take that roof that you can see off. So that'll turn into parallel trusses that run so it vaults the ceiling more, and that'll give us the head height that would allow us to have a second floor. Me trying to find tools that I don't have to bend rebar. I end up using a piece of pipe. I tried this vise because I saw a guy use a vise on YouTube to try to bend the rebar, but my vise turns, and I don't know if that's just I haven't tightened things down enough, but the rotation on it didn't allow for the kind of bending I needed to do. Video footage was nicer though then because there was so much more light. Huh. Yeah. Why? Why is it twisting? How do I gotta tighten it. Okay, if I tighten it. Damn it, what? Maybe tighter? Maybe it's gotta be tighter. It has these little like rotator pins in the sides that seem to cinch down when you want to, because you can use it to twist and turn. The original guy I see use the pipe and rebar trick was bending significantly skinnier rebar. This is number 5 rebar, which means it's 5/8 of an inch thick. Little dance. You know, you couldn't bend it yourself. You're trying to figure out how to fucking tighten this thing. What else? I mean, what else is going on since I'm catching you up on more than just rebar? I have omeprazole, acid reducer in my omeprazole in my foreground. Just picked that up today at Walmart in order to deal with what may be acid reflux. Definitely has been acid reflux, but caused like a big throat feeling for me in my, like one of my, it was too low to be strep, and so it felt like it was headed down towards voice box kind of thing, like right edge of the voice box. Went into the ear throat doctor, and they said, let's start with a proton pump inhibitor. Digging down for utility has to run out of this hole. This is the 4th of 4 holes. Rebar hole. We put the hole in the wrong place the first time, so we had to cut a second hole. That's why you have a shallow part and a deep part. We filled it with 2-inch, 1.5-inch styrofoam insulation, which apparently per mathematics is 10 inches of thermal insulation of ground. So for every 10 inches you're trying to get down underground to run your water pipes, you can use 2 inches of foam, something like that. So right here is 6 inches of styrofoam, and therefore, but we're not actually running water through here, it's just to cover up a boo-boo. My Uncle Oli has been on site with me, if not on site more than me. He has been on layout and planning more than me. He is carrying the project, essentially. I am deeply indebted to all the labor that he puts into this thing, both mentally and otherwise. not only is this his old wood shop and we live on his land, but I couldn't do this without him. Tools we've got, good tables. Cabinet might not be in the final build. Cat houses. Big piles of dirt that now go outside onto the farm. This is the insulation, actually full circle. Black bags. The first day and most important day of making decisions was I'm gonna actually just throw this stuff away. Because I thought we could pour it and use it as like more floor insulation. Probably in the next video you'll see the floor going in that I was thinking about insulating. We just finished up. Probably we have 2 boards to put in, and then a post, and then lowest floor carpentry will be done until finish. Yeah. It's good to see you.
For me,